Star Brethren!
Your number one source for everything Starbound. Hello, I'm Kamo, and welcome to this episode of the Starbound Progression Guide. In this one, we're going to be talking about the Erchius Mining Facility mission that you're required to go on in order to proceed. As always, if you guys know someone who needs a hand, be sure to share this video, and if you have any feedback for me or any questions, definitely leave it down in the comments section for me. Now, you may notice that I'm doing the commentary a little bit differently this time. Up on the screen, I'm going to have the mission going, and then I'm going to be talking over it, so not everything's going to line up. Now, before I talk about the mission itself and going on the mission, I wanted to go through what I recommend as far as a setup. You'll of course want to bring a ranged weapon with you because the most common creature in here has a ranged attack, and it's best to stay at a range if you can avoid it. For a melee weapon, I recommend bringing a longer ranged melee weapon like a spear or a two-handed sword. For armor, you'll of course want to make sure that you put on the steel set that you're required to have in order to start this mission. You want to make sure that you bring a good amount of bandages, or at least plant fibers, so you can make bandages on the go. You're not able to place anything in this mission, including campfires, so you also want to make sure that you have some cooked food with you if you don't like using bandages as much, because you won't be able to cook any on the go. In order to deploy to the mission, you want to make sure that you talk to the Sail AI. This is also going to be where you'll equip the oxygen suit that you got from the completion of the previous mission when you got the steel set. In order to do that, go to the Show My Tech underneath his picture for the Sail AI, go to the Suit tab, and then click Equip. Then to go back, you want to make sure you click Let's Talk under his picture, then go to the Missions tab, click on the mission, and then click Deploy. When you're deployed, you're put in an eerie situation. You're put on a moon, and there's no power, and all you see is emergency lights all over the place. As you go through here, there are lots of secrets to find. In this video, I will include where you could find the 4 chests that include the spaceman suit, as well as the records for this place, and I'm also going to be reading those out loud. And there are 2 main types of creatures you're going to run into. One of them is the more common. It's a quicker creature that has a ranged attack as well as a short melee attack. Now, these ones are easier to dispatch of if you have yourself a ranged weapon. If you need to get into melee combat, they have a very short melee attack, which is why I recommended a longer melee weapon. You can easily jump over and around them if you can time their attacks right, able to get your attacks in, because there is a bit of a cooldown on their attacks. The second creature that you're going to run into is a slower creature that does not have a ranged attack, but it has a very powerful melee attack that actually is relatively short range, which is another reason I recommended getting a longer melee weapon, because they do take a lot of hits, so ranged may not be the best option for them, so you'll want to stay out of their reach while hitting them with melee attacks. Something to be very careful of is if you do end up getting killed by these creatures or by falling or for whatever reason, it will spawn you back on your ship and the mission will reset, so make sure that you're being very careful when you get into your encounters. Throughout the mission, you're going to find all kinds of containers. These containers contain all kinds of things. It's mostly like flares, pixels, a couple of them contain weapons. They'll also find bandages. I recommend looting them so that you can grab as many materials, because you'll also find bars, ores, all kinds of great stuff. You'll also find beds, and these beds, if you've been injured, make sure you sleep so that you can get some of your health back. As I mentioned before, throughout the mission, you're going to encounter chests that contain a Vanity set, a Vanity Spaceman set, as well as these records that are a journal of one of the supervisors of this location. Periodically, from time to time, you'll also run into other miners that have been stranded here, and they are friendly towards you. They're going to be humanoid, and when one of the creatures attacks, they will attack. Overall, this is a very straightforward mission, but you will want to be careful as there are a lot of creatures in here that can easily kill you very quickly if you're not paying attention. Like I said before, things will reset and the entire place will respawn if you die, so be sure you're being careful. Alright, with all that being said, I'm going to read the journal entries in my amazing reading voice. Now, these are the journals that you can find on this mission. There are 3 of them. I've been on this moon for 3 days now. The miners don't trust me, and rightly so. I'm on the USCM payroll, here to supervise this facility and keep everything above regulation. I've had to enforce the compulsory wearing of these high-vis jackets, something that hasn't won me any favors. This moon is in a key special junction, easily accessible from every sector of the galaxy. It's no surprise that a facility was built this soon after the discovery of the moon. With a crew of less than 50, this place feels smaller than other similar operations. I've been deployed to similar moons before, but I still can't shake that empty feeling I get when I look out the window, never to see the blue sky of a habitable planet. It adds to the overwhelming feeling I have deep down that man was not meant to live out here in the dark. Record 2. The crew here mined for materials, some crystal ore that is used to create warp drives. To be honest, I'm not concerned with the technical details. Science isn't my department. I'm more concerned with the well-being of the crew. They took me on a complimentary tour of the mines today. I was glad to see everyone wearing their regulation safety helmets. Hopefully we'll have no accidents. The amount of paperwork involved would be stressful. There were some strange noises coming from the mines when I visited, but the crew assured me that it was probably just the machinery. The glowing crystals made me feel quite sick. Surprised the crew hasn't complained about it themselves. Records number 3. There's something terribly wrong with this moon. The crew are disappearing. They aren't telling me anything, but I can just tell that there's going to be so much paperwork to do. Everything's gone wrong. I sent out a distress signal. Hopefully someone can come with backup. Oh, I'm sure there's some miners still stranded in the mines. There's nothing I can do for them now. I'm gonna lock down the facility, close the entrance to the mine, and turn off the power. Hopefully those things haven't made their way into the main building. Wish me luck. Once you've made your way all the way through the facility, you're going to come to a large mining vehicle at the end, which is the turn-in for your mission. Just interact with it, complete the mission, and at this point you'll notice that you have the ability to beam back to your ship. Go ahead and beam back, and that's the Erchius Mining Facility mission. Alright everyone, well I hope this video helped you out. Definitely, like I said, leave me any feedback or questions that you have down in the comment section below. In the meantime, you all take care.